For question 2, you wanted us to find a point for the park that was equidistant between the two locations. So I started out by doing the distance formula, and I found that the distance was square root 32. And I did that by doing the Pythagorean theorem. So I saw that polyi's was 4 over and then 4 up to get to the gas station. And so then I was finding the hypotenuse of that. And then I found the midpoint right in the middle because I went 2 over from polyi's and then 2 up. And then the gas station to get to that midpoint would be 2 down and 2 over. So they'd both be, that would be the midpoint, which would be the shortest spot that is equidistant between the two. However, that's not the only place that is equidistant. We do have larger values, they're just further away. So I use my compass and drew 2 arcs, and where the arcs intersect, I drew a perpendicular bisector, and that shows that any point on this line would be equidistant from these 2 spots. Even though it's not the shortest, they're longer. They're still equidistant, and I can prove that because I drew a triangle between each location, and they're both the same length away because these 2 spots from polyi's to C, the midpoint, and from the gas station to C, they're both the same length, and these 2 angles in here are both right angles, so those would be the same. And then taxicab, I drew 2 what would be circles in taxicab, and since the distance is 8 away from polyi's to the gas station, I drew a circle with a radius of 4. So I drew a circle with a radius of 4 around polyi's, and then a circle with a radius of 4 around the gas station. And then these 5 green points would represent the midpoint, which would be the shortest distance that is equidistant from both. And then these pink dots and up, those would also be equidistant, and that would be equal to the perpendicular bisector of Euclidean. They're just further away, but they're still equidistant. And for this last one, a point that would not exist would be a distance that was odd, because in taxicab geometry you can't have an odd number. There would always be one that would be greater or less than the other. The closest you could get was, say, like a distance that was 6 away, and then the other place would be 7 away. With odd, you can't have half numbers in taxicab, and the circles would never overlap, so they wouldn't be equidistant.